Maybe you've been wondering for a long time, is she truly written for you? You cry in prayer, you make dua at night, but it feels like Allah still hasn't answered. Dear brother or sister, maybe the answer was already given, but you just didn't hear it. Today, this video might be that confirmation you've been waiting for. Part 1. When Allah's answers aren't clear, you've made dua, you've cried, you've waited. Still, the silence feels loud, the confusion lingers. You wonder, did Allah hear me? Did He answer? You wish the reply came like a text message, obvious, direct, unmistakable. You long for a sign that says, "This is from Allah." But all you see are events unfolding without explanation. Sometimes the more you seek clarity, the more clouded things become. And that's when doubt starts whispering, maybe Allah isn't responding. But here's the truth, Allah always responds. He just doesn't respond in the way we expect. Surah Ash-Shura 42:51 reminds us, "It is not fitting for a human being that Allah should speak to them, except by inspiration, or from behind a veil." Allah does speak, but not like humans. He speaks through means we often overlook. A sudden ease after hardship. A delayed plan that turns out to be protection. A no that saves you from greater pain. A verse you stumble upon at the exact moment you need it. His answers are layered in wisdom, not loud declarations. He doesn't always change your situation. Sometimes He changes you, and that inner transformation is the answer. Remember, even the prophets didn't receive constant direct speech. Revelation came as inspiration, dreams, signs, sometimes after long silence. So don't assume silence means rejection. Often it means your dua is being answered in a way that builds you, not breaks you. Instead of asking, "Where is Allah's answer?" ask, "What is Allah teaching me through this?" Because maybe the answer isn't coming, it's already here, just not in the form you expected. Part 2. 5 signs Allah may have already answered you. You've been praying, waiting, seeking clarity. You ask Allah to guide your heart, to make things easy if it's meant to be, or to remove it gently if it's not. But what if the answer has already come? Not with flashing signs or dramatic moments, but subtly, quietly, through the whispers of peace, the discipline of patience, and the stillness in your heart. Here are 5 signs Allah may have already answered your dua, especially when it comes to someone you're considering deeply. 1. You feel peace only when making dua for that person. There may be many around you. You've compared, questioned, and even tried to move on. But when your hands raise in dua, their name emerges effortlessly, and with it comes peace. A calmness settles in your chest, not desire, not obsession, just sakana. The kind only Allah can place in the heart. Hadith, Tirmidhi, that which brings peace to your heart is good. This isn't about emotional dependency. It's about spiritual serenity. The kind of peace that doesn't come from imagination or infatuation, but from alignment with what's right. Maybe the answer isn't a yes or no. Maybe it's in that unexplainable stillness every time you remember them in prayer. 2. You could have sinned for them, but you didn't. You wanted to act on your feelings. You had the chance, the conversation, the temptation. But instead of chasing your desire, you remembered Allah. You could have followed the haram route, but you chose patience. You chose to love for the sake of Allah, not just for the sake of love. That's not just love. That's love on Allah's path. The Prophet said, "You will never give up something for the sake of Allah, but that Allah will replace it with something better." Ahmad. And perhaps the better isn't something else. It's that same person, now brought to you halal and whole, because you waited, because you honored Allah first. 3. When you do istikhara for them, your heart feels still. Istikhara isn't always answered with vivid dreams or huge signs. Sometimes the answer is a quiet clarity, not excitement, not anxiety. Just a calm, still heart. Surah Al-Baqarah, 2:186. I respond to the call of the supplicant when he calls upon me. After your istikhara, you may not feel different, but pay attention. Do you feel less confusion? Has the inner noise settled? Has your heart stopped asking the same question? That may be your answer. Allah has settled the matter in your heart. And if your heart feels still, it's not by accident. It's a sign your request reached the one who controls the hearts. 4. Allah makes them different in your eyes. You've seen beauty before, you've met kind people, but this person, they're not necessarily the most attractive or perfect. But there's a light in their character, a depth in their deen that keeps drawing you in. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. And of his signs is that he created for you spouses from among yourselves, that you may find tranquility in them. This isn't infatuation, it's recognition. It's seeing something in them that brings you closer to Allah, not your ego. Their presence isn't just comforting, it reminds you of your values. It inspires you to be better, to do better. When Allah shows you someone's soul before their smile, that's not chemistry, that's a sign. Maybe not of certainty, but of alignment. 5. Every time you try to let go, they somehow come back into your life you've tried moving on. You made dua to remove them from your heart if they're not meant for you. You distanced yourself, and just when you start to forget, their name comes up, their dua reaches you. A mutual friend brings them up, or a reminder about them stirs something again. This doesn't mean you're meant to be, but it may mean Allah hasn't removed the connection because it's still serving a purpose. The Prophet said, "The hearts are between the fingers of the Most Merciful. He turns them as He wills." Muslim. If Allah wanted to erase them from your life, He could. But if He's kept that tie, even in memory, maybe it's because there's still more to the story. That return might be a test, or it might be a preparation. Either way, it's not random. We often search for divine answers in big signs, but Allah's signs are rarely loud. They come in gentle nudges, spiritual calm, wise delays. So if you've seen any of these signs, maybe Allah has responded, just not in the form you expected. And the greatest sign of all, that your heart is still turned toward Him while waiting for the answer. Because when you make dua and you grow closer to Allah in the process, that in itself is a beautiful answer. Part 3. So what should you do now? You've made the dua. You've searched for signs. And still, your heart isn't fully certain. So what now? Do you wait endlessly? Do you walk away? Or do you hold on to hope and risk heartbreak? Here are 3 steps to ground your heart. Not just in love, but in Allah's wisdom. 1. Don't just follow emotions. Move toward Allah's pleasure. Love is powerful, but without direction, it can blind you. What you feel may be real, but it's not always right. So before chasing someone's hand, chase Allah's pleasure. More important than getting them is being ready to receive them in a halal, blessed way. That means purify your intentions, strengthen your character, grow your deen, and if it feels appropriate and respectful, involve the family. Avoid secret attachments that lead to uncertainty and sin. Ask yourself, am I preparing for love the way I prepare for Jannah? Because the person may be a test, but your response is your choice. Whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out and provide for him from where he does not expect. Surah At-Talaq 65 and 2-3. When you put Allah first, even heartbreak becomes redirection, not destruction. 2. If the answer is still unclear, keep doing istikhara. Many expect istikhara to feel like lightning, sudden, dramatic, unmistakable. But most of the time, it's a process. Allah may not answer with a yes or no. Instead, He may guide you through a series of subtle shifts, new opportunities, feelings of clarity, or doors quietly closing. The key is patience, not passively waiting, but actively trusting. Keep seeking clarity while improving yourself. I respond to the call of the supplicant when he calls upon me. Surah Al-Baqarah, 2186. Every time you pray, Allah hears, and sometimes He delays, not to deny you, but to prepare you. So even when you don't get a clear sign, hold on to this. Allah doesn't ignore sincere hearts. 3. Don't chase. The one who's drifting, make dua that they return on their own. When someone starts to slip from your life, your instinct may be to run after them, to send that message, to fix things, to hold on. But true trust in Allah means letting go and letting Him decide. If they're truly written for you, then Allah can return them in a way you never imagined, without begging, forcing, or lowering your worth. Dignity in dua is stronger than desperation in action. Let your heart speak to the one who controls all hearts. Indeed, the hearts of all people are between two fingers of the most merciful. He turns them however He wills. Muslim. So stop chasing, start praying. And if they are yours, they will return in a way that honors both your heart and your deen. Sometimes love teaches us more than it gives us. And sometimes, the dua you made for a person becomes the reason you came closer to Allah, even if they weren't meant to stay. So what should you do now? Purify your intention, surrender the outcome, and trust the author of your story. He never writes without wisdom, because whether He gives you what you asked for, or something better, it will always be what your soul truly needed. Final twist. You think you're the one waiting, but Allah is preparing them for you. If you've lost someone, but still make sincere dua for them, that may not just be emotion, it might be the key to your destiny. When Allah gives someone, He gives slowly, but perfectly. If your tears are genuine, then maybe this video is your confirmation. Quran, Surah Al-Isra, 1780. Say, O my Lord, let my entry be by the gate of truth, and likewise, my exit by the gate of truth, and grant me from you a supporting authority. Comment below. If he, she is my destiny, I am ready to be patient. I trust Allah. Subscribe to Peaceful Deen, so your heart's voice never goes unheard again.